Tonight we have a public hearing, and I'd like to call that to order. Ask everyone to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This is a hearing for the 2023 preliminary budget, and ask the clerk to please read the notices.
Notice is hereby given that the preliminary budget of the town of Warwick for fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2023 will be completed and be on file on November 3rd, 2022 in the following locations where it will be available for inspection by any interested person at all reasonable hours. The office of the town clerk located at 132 Kings Highway, Town of Warwick, the Town of Warwick website, townofwarwick.org, New York, Florida Village Hall, located 33 South Main Street, Village of Florida, New York. The Albert Wisner Public Library, 1 McFarland Drive, Village of Warwick, New York. Greenwood Lake Public Library, Waterstone Road, Village of Greenwood Lake, New York. And Pine Island Post Office, 665 County Route 1, Pine Island, New York. Further notice is hereby given that the Town Board of the Town of Warwick will meet and review the preliminary budget and hold a public hearing thereon at the Town Hall, 132 Kings Highway, Warwick, New York, on Thursday, November 10, 2022 at 7 p.m. or soon thereafter, as the matter can be heard in favor or against the preliminary budget as compiled, or for or against any item or items therein contained. Pursuant to Section 112 of the Town Law, the proposed salaries of the following elected officers are hereby specified as follows: Supervisor, $70,000; Town Clerk, $63,000; Records Management Officer, $3,910. Council persons are $12,225 each. Receiver of taxes is $44,198, and the two justices, $29,500 each. Would you like me to read the second one?
Read the notice for the special district budget as well, please.
Okay, notice is hereby given that the Town Board of the Town of Warwick, Orange County, New York, has completed the assessment roll for the purpose of raising funds for the operation and maintenance of the following special districts of the Town of Warwick: Wickham Village Water District, Uric Heights Water District, Belleville Park Water District, Westside Greenwood Lake Water District, Pine Island Water District, WVOTCP Water District, WVOTCP Lighting District, Warwick Fairgrounds Water District, Warwick Sewer District Number 1, Warwick Sewer District Number 2 with the Fairgrounds, Garbage District, Warwick Ambulance District Number 1 in Warwick, Warwick Ambulance District Number 2 in Greenwood Lake, Warwick Ambulance District Number 3 Pine Island, Warwick Ambulance District Number 4 Florida, and the Kings Estates Park District. That the Town Board has completed the assessment roll for the purpose of paying the cost of electricity for the lighting system in the Pine Island Lighting District and the Kings Estates Lighting District, and that said assessment roll is on file in the office of the assessor at the Town Hall, and the Town Board will meet at the Town Hall, 132 Kings Highway, Town of Warwick, Orange County, New York, on Thursday, November 10th, 2022 at 7 p.m. or soon thereafter, as the matter can be heard, for the purpose of hearing and considering any objections which may be made to said assessment roll.
All right, thank you. Before we open the hearing, I just wanted to run through the budget, explain it a little bit to the residents. Board controls, and then there's the special district budgets, which only are paid for by residents who benefit from those districts, such as the water districts, the lighting districts, the Kings Estates Park District, and the sewer districts. Not all residents pay for those because they don't benefit from the purpose of those districts. So I wanted to go through the main portions of the budget that the Town Board controls, and all residents pay portions of. So it's broken into two parts: the A fund and the B fund. And then it's broken down further in the highway department into a DA and a DB fund. And the reason that is the Town of Warwick contains 3 villages within its borders, and the residents of the villages only pay for the services of the town that are not provided by their village government and taxed by their village government. That's why we break down our costs into those two components. So in the A fund, which is paid by every resident, because every resident in the town, whether you live in a village or a town, can benefit from those services and does benefit from those services. And the general government portion contains the supervisor's budget, the town board, the justice court, our auditors, our tax collector, our assessor, the town clerk's office, which manages all the records and maintains all the records and issues licenses, the town attorney, the maintenance of the town hall building, the central garage building, our central communications functions, our data processing functions, and our record management, and of course the insurance component. Our public safety under the A fund that everyone pays for essentially is the control of dogs, the signage for traffic, striping of roads, and our transportation and highway portion of the budget is the Highway Department Administration, which by state law is a town-wide charge that everyone pays, and our dial-a-bus system, of course, which is accessible to every resident in the town. Our economic portion of the budget includes our home delivery of meals to the homebound, our veterans heating payment that we make to our veterans organizations, our programs for aging, our senior functions, and a small economic development budget. Youth and recreation includes our parks department, which manages all of the town's parks and facilities, our town recreation program, and that is the one we run in Pine Island, which we fund as a town program. Our community center support, which is a community center in the village of Warwick, and of course our town historian. And then our home and community is our contribution. We're one of 5 towns that contributes to the maintenance of the Wallkill Drainage District, the Wallkill River, the Greenwood Lake Bi-State Commission, our Shade Tree Commission, and then our cemeteries that by, again, state law, if they are abandoned cemeteries, it falls upon the town to maintain those. The B fund, again, is paid for by town residents only, not village residents, and it's combined on their tax bill with the A fund because they pay that as well. In the B fund, the general government is our planning and zoning functions, our engineers, central data processing, all of those components. The public safety is our building department, and the function they perform, not only issuing permits, but doing inspections, doing violations, and inspections. The health is our registrar, our vital statistics management, and that's a function of the clerk's office. Our transportation portion of the budget is really our street lights. That's we have 3 lighting districts. One is a town-wide district that is on major inner ways, Kings Estates District, and the Pine Island District. Community service would be our planning and zoning boards, our youth programs that we supply funding to the villages for their programs, and our planning department. The BO2 fund is a separation out of the B fund. That is where our police funding resides, and the reason it is in the segregated fund there is because we have, through an agreement with the village of Warwick, we provide police for the village of Warwick, and so there's a mechanism by which they pay for extra policing, and that's why we break that out into its own sub-fund under the B fund. The DA and the DB funds are the highway funds. The designation of A and B would indicate where they get charged. So those are the components, and I thought it was important for the residents to understand, again, where their money's going. So again, here are the 4 main funds, and you can see the amounts in each one. You can see the percentages of each one. You can see that the police are our largest component of our budget. It's about 41%, and the rest of all of the functions would be about 60%. This just gives you another sort of sense of the A fund, and again, those components that I talked about originally, and it shows you the percentage of the major components of that. You see fringe benefits, which would be health insurance cost, retirement cost, take up a fair portion of our expenses in the A fund. It's about 27%, so it's a fairly large number. If we go to the B fund, you can see again the categories that I spoke about earlier, and you can see again the components and how much they are. You can see that really $1 million for that entire group of services, and it's really a very small component of our budget, but it's a lot of critical services that are provided. BO2 fund is our police department, and I think the thing to take from our police department, not only is it 40% of our overall budget, but that you can see its personnel costs are really the main amount in that budget. It's about 90% of the police budget is in personnel costs. All the other things like their equipment, the vehicles, is the remaining 10%, fairly small portion. DA fund is where we do bridges, drainage, catch basins, machine repairs, equipment, and again, fringe benefits. And you can see the components there. The DB fund would be our snow removal, bridge work, road maintenance work. That's where we do the highway work that we do. Snow removal, you can see the components, about 13% of the budget. Fringe benefits, again, in New York State are fairly high, and it is something that the town board doesn't control whatsoever. So again, this just shows you spending over the years from 18 to 23. The payroll costs this year will be up about 300,000. Fringe benefits another 210. Our contractual expenses are actually down. We were able to again tighten our budget, be a little bit more resourceful, and that will help mitigate any of the rise in the overall expenditures in the budget. And our debt service is fairly modest. So what does this mean for you as a taxpayer? It means for this year, on the town-wide rate, which is the rate that everyone would pay, right? But the village residents would pay particular attention to this because this is the only portion that you'll see. So your rate last year was $6.92 per thousand, and in this budget it's $6.93. So it's really a less than 50 cent on the total average household. So the average household is assessed at an assessed value of about 50,000. You can do the math to get to your market value, which is the 50,000 is about 15% of the market value. So again, you can do the math, but 40 cents overall on your total bill is essentially a flat number. For town residents, which pays that A fund and B fund combined, your rate last year was $22.96 per thousand. This year it will be $22.78. So it's actually a reduction of about $8 on your tax bill. So again, a flat tax rate fairly across the board, and I think the town board is pretty proud of that. They worked hard. The departments have worked hard to do more with less, and they've done a great job with it. So I think we're fairly proud of this budget to introduce. So we're going to now rise up to the dais, and then we will take public comment on the budget. The ambulance districts, which we fund the ambulance corps, they bring their budget to us, and we work with them to get the supplies and the resources they need to provide ambulance service. We have the Greenwood Lake Ambulance Corps, the Pine Island Ambulance Corps, and the Warwick Ambulance Corps that covers both Warwick and Florida, and they do an exceptional job, and they've introduced their budgets. It's included in the total budget, which you'd see. The clerks got those distributed around at libraries and in the town clerk's office. Right. And then, of course, I'd mentioned the lighting districts, again, Pine Island, Kings Estates, and there's a town-wide one. There's 2 sewer districts. The largest sewer district number 1, and the Fairgrounds sewer district. And then the fire district budgets are included in our budget. We do not control them because they are essentially a municipal entity. They elect their own commissioners to manage the district. They have submit their budgets to us, which we include, but they hold their own separate hearings. We are under the tax cap, as the rate, the flat rate indicates, and we will be under the cap, so we're proud of that as well. And we're happy to say that we have done our parts to not burden taxpayers any further in this tough time. And I will also point out that the town tax portion of your property tax budget is the lowest portion of your property tax bill that you would receive from any entity. So we're again proud of that as well. So I'll open it for any comments on the special districts.
Yeah, why is that, like, if the ambulance corps charges you to bring you to the hospital?
Some of the volunteer ambulance calls will charge you if your insurance will,
Right, yeah, but it's like volunteers, so.
if your insurance will pay for it, but if they don't, they're not, they don't go after you for that bill.
Then they don't charge you?
Correct. Yeah. You're welcome. Any other comments? And seeing none, I would close the hearing on the special districts. I have a motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Now let's open the public hearing on the general budget. And again, the rates speak for themselves, essentially flat. And it allowed us to invest in highway services that we need, road work, snow removal. Our police department is adequately funded in this case, and we're proud of that as well. So I'll open it for public comment. Seeing none, I would ask for a motion to close the public hearing on the 2023 budget.
I make a motion to close.
Second.
Any discussion? I just want to say, I want to thank Steve Brown, who is our financial advisor. Steve worked hard on getting this in shape for us and giving us the work books that we needed to get through it. I want to thank the board for their comments and input on this, and certainly the employees in the departments that worked really hard to really present to us, I think, fair and adequate budgets to get the services done. So, seeing no other comments, any comments from the board?
Good job, all.
All right, then I would take a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. So the hearings are closed, and we will look to adopt the budget on November 17th. A week from today in this room.
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. A motion to, well, we closed all the hearings, so we'll adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Fair enough?
Fair enough.
All right. Have a good evening.
Good evening.